No, it's on.
Okay, so we will go to Vata, which is basically ether and air, or some people call it space and air. These are the two elements, okay? And then we will look at the qualities of Vata, okay? So every dosha, okay, is existent in our system, and there are qualities to it. So the qualities of Vata is that there is a tendency to have dryness, yeah? So dry skin, or dryness in the bones or the joints. So there is pain, there is not good lubrication. There is a lightness. So usually the people with Vata body types, they're quite light frame, not very big and heavy. There is a coldness about air and space combination. So basically this dosha has, if we're looking at the physical body, there's a cold hands and feet, or tendency to feel cold. And basically it's cold, it's not something that is warming Vata, okay? And there is a roughness about it. It's more subtle because, like you see, it's air and space. You can't actually, pick it up and feel it like I'm feeling this now. It's more, it's something that is lightweight. It's mobile. There is a movement about it. And it's actually, that one is clear. So it's something that is transparent. So I want to talk a little bit about Vata now. Vata is existent, the dosha is existent in everybody, and it is the most important dosha in Ayurveda because it's responsible for the movements in our body. Okay, so anything, not only the fact that we are walking, the talking, the speech, the breathing, the movement of the nutrients, the digestion, the excretion, all these things is part of the qualities of Vata. It's the dosha that helps move things from one place to the other. It's the lightest, it's the most mobile, and it is the one that if it doesn't work well, then kapha also cannot be activated, and pitta also doesn't work well. So the strongest and most important dosha of all is to have vata balance, okay? Whether you have a predominance or you have a main dosha is vata, you must aim to have very good vata balance in your body, and we will see why. Okay, so Vata has 5 subtypes. There are 5 subtypes of Vata, okay? Different types of air and energies. And people who study yoga usually learn about it because it has a lot to do with breath work and movement of energy, okay? So the first Vata is pranvayu, which is the actual life force that we feel. So if we don't have life force in the body, this transparent, subtle energy, we are not alive. So if we don't have prana, if we don't breathe in, this involuntary action of breathing in, there is no life. So this is one of the aspects of Vata, is that we are able to breathe in without making an effort. Yeah. All right. And this life force is permeating all over the body, going to the cells. You see, there is a movement. I take in the breath, and this oxygen is going everywhere. Yeah. And this life force is sent to all the organs. The next one is Udana, and Udana.
Which one is from the figure you can say is prana? Like you have different arrows in the figure.
Which the figure?
Yeah, the human body.
Prana is actually everywhere. It is the one that is going. is the one that is actually everywhere. If
Okay.
I will just, prana is everywhere. You can't actually, it goes in through the in breath. So we say that we focus more on prana vayu when we are in the nostrils, when we inhale. Prana vayu is the one responsible for inhalation. Yeah.
Mm.
We're not even trying to inhale, we're just inhaling. So that means that this vata, this vayu, this air and space type of vata is moving, so we are alive. In udana is here in the throat. Yeah. So udana is the one that is responsible for exhaling. Yeah. So our exhalation is part of the movement of Vata during the exhalation. Also, Udana is the one that is responsible for anger, letting out, shouting, this the speech also. Talking is part of Udana. So there is also a part of it that has to sustain memory, but basically Udana is also very responsible for people who have thyroid issues. They have blocked some problem with their Udana. Okay, so it's important to observe and do pranayama, do very nice breathing techniques, inhaling, exhaling. Meditation is also balancing for the first two vayus. Yoga is balancing also. That's why they actually go together, these sciences. And then the next subdosha is Vyana. Vyana is here in the heart region. It's responsible for the circulation of blood in the body, okay, for the pulsation. It's also responsible for the emotions, okay. So when there are heart problems or circulatory problems in the body, we recommend oiling. Oiling balances Vyana. Okay, so oiling makes the emotional body, the circulation better, because you do the massage and you are applying some pressure and the circulation is getting better and the oil is becoming more soothing. So if there is an imbalance in Vyana, there are circulatory problems or heart problems or depression or anxiety, the oiling will help. Then we have Samana Vayu, okay? It's these two arrows here responsible for the digestion. That means this is the Vata that moves the enzymes from the pancreas, from the stomach, and helps the digestive process to happen. Also taking down the food. If there are problems and in the esophagus, it's not going to go down, it's not going to get digested, and a lot of problems happen with bad digestion. And Vata people, one of the first things that you realize that there is some that you see that there is is when they start to have gas and bloatedness, or even a Pitta person can have gas and bloatedness. It means that the Samana Vayu, the Vata part of his body, is not working. So it doesn't mean that because he's a Pitta, he doesn't have these functions. We all have these functions in our body, and they need to be in balance for us to be well. So when you have symptoms, you start to see, okay, the Samana is not working, this is not working, we need to balance something. So Samana is very important because it's responsible for the absorption, for the digestion, and for the sending of the nutrients to nourish the system. So if this movement of Vata is not happening properly, we have problems again. And so when the digestion is not happening well, what happens here? Does anybody want to think about.
Elimination doesn't work either.
Yeah, elimination is in apana. Yes, there is a block there. What does the gut? The gut has a direct repercussion to the mental body. So there start to be aggravation. There is undigested stuff, and so we start to have anxiety. We start to have mental pressure as well.
I can definitely relate to that. When my digestion was really bad, I was also upset and a bear, basically. It was so annoying to be around.
Yeah. So be aware of that. So one day when you are having indigestion or whatever, observe it also. Yeah. Don't let it go on for many days.
Effie.
Yes.
Does this have anything to do? Hi, first of all.
Hi.
Does this have anything to do with the solar plexus?
Samana is located there. Okay, the Manipur is there, but Samana has to do with the mobility of the mobility and ability of the enzymes and the procedures needed for the digestive system, the metabolism to work. Okay, it doesn't. Yeah, the solar plexus has to do a lot with your willpower, with your strength. That's another story. But always remember, when there are undigested emotions, not only food, but also undigested emotions, there are problems in the gut.
No, this is what I was heading to.
Yeah. So this is also the second brain of the body, that we're not only digesting our food, but here in this area, we are also digesting emotions, things that we cannot digest. They sit there and they block the samana. Okay.
Yes.
So we have to make this introspection and see, is it the type of food that I'm eating, or is it things that I cannot accept or digest in my life that I need to start to see in a different way, so that I can unblock this blockage that has taken place. Okay. Right. So samana is one of the most important functions, because it can bring about a lot of imbalance. And finally, last but not least, is apana. It's this downward moving motion that governs from the pelvic area down all the movements of the urinary tract, the excretion. Yeah. So how well we are urinating, or often, how well we are going to the toilet. Are we constipated? Constipation is a type of Vata disorder because of the dryness that Vata has. Sometimes they have constipation. Yeah, they suffer a lot from constipation. So that means that the apana, there is a blockage. And also for the women, all the irregularities in the menstrual cycles, they are because of some imbalance in apana. So all the reproductive system functions, all the downward moving energies, they are governed by apana. Is it somehow clear that there are these moving airs and vatas in the body that are very important for all the doshas, for all the constitutions? I know it's quite dense, but are you getting the fact that Vata has these it's like these soldiers that go and do the job, you know? It's like a regiment that has 5 soldiers, and it sends them here and there to do the job. So if one of the soldiers is not well, it creates an imbalance in Vata. Yeah. Okay. So if somebody is Pitta and he has constipation, it's his Vata. It's part of a Vata imbalance. So we look at the Apana, and we give more oily food, and we give some herbs, and we try to remedy the apana. If there is someone with emotional anxiety, and problems with circulatory system, depression, we prescribe more oil massage, again, better food, and warm food, and also herbs. So for each of the vatas, there is some type of remedy. Okay. And here in the next slide, we see the various seats where Vata resides. So we have Vata imbalance in the brain. What type of Vata imbalance can you think can happen to the brain? What can happen?
Overthinking.
Overthinking, because Vata is going very fast, too many thoughts, anxiety, panic, depressions, yeah, these type of disorders where there is too much movement in the brain. Yeah, the brain is not calm. So we remedy this a little bit with meditation and other things that can help, but also a diet, herbs, oiling, and many ways. Another side is the ear. So ear problems usually show an imbalance of Vata dosh. Problems with bones, dryness of the bones, like Isabel said, she had a frozen shoulder. So cracking joints and bones that are painful, this is also a Vata imbalance. Problems around the waist, pain. This is an area where Vata can sit. So you have people that have lower back pain or pain around the waist. The main seat of Vata is the colon. Okay, so people with colon issues, you will see. I mean, that's a really, when it gets like really tough, that is a Vata disorder. And we can have Vata also, you can feel it in the thighs. It's an area where Vata can reside. Okay. All right. So we're not going to go any further. This was enough from the technical and sort of more in deeper side of Vata. We will go back to Vivek, who will give us maybe, if possible, the other sheet on determining Vata as a body type, as a person. How are we and what are we? So if we were to talk about people that are Vata, do you know how would you describe them? Does anybody know any Vatas, or is maybe a little bit lower, Vivek? Yeah, thank you. So no, a little bit. I think we need the first page, if you don't mind. Yeah. So does anybody have an idea of Vatas? If you were going to choose a cartoon, which one would you choose?
Το beep beep, πώς το λέγανε εκείνο.
Beep beep or coyote, the coyote, the roadrunner. Huh?
Ναι, this is what I have in mind.
Does everybody know the roadrunner? So Vata is going very fast, doing many things. Vatas are very enthusiastic people. They like new things. They like sports. They're usually quite thin. They're not very big in shape, but not always. Vata predominant one. And they are very active. They're the sporty kind. They will do 2 or 3 things at the same time. They will schedule too many things, and they will deplete their energy because they don't know when to stop. They will get confused very easily because there's so much going on in their brain and so many things to think about and so much movement, not only physical but mental, that these type of people, they usually exhausted. They don't know when to stop. They do too much and then they are spent. Yeah. So They're also the people who are very creative, very artistic, usually artists and people who are in the arts, are, you know, actors and this type. So they're very creative when they're balanced, but when they're imbalanced, they're anxious, they're confused, they're panicky, they don't have energy. So, and also they are very, very sensitive beings and little bit fragile. So you have to be careful. They're very vulnerable. So you have to be careful how you speak to Vatas. Yeah. You can really hurt them. So they're the sensitive ones from the three doshas, let's say. Okay. So here on the second page, there is an enumeration of maybe Vivek can reducing Vata imbalance. So Vatas, which Vatas should favor sweet, sour, and salty taste. It's good for them. Okay. They like to go for salads and things like that, but they remember always that like attracts like. So Vatas like cold and dry and light food, but for them the best thing is to have oily food because of their dryness. So to take more oil or oily food, warm food, not to eat cold foods because already their constitution is cold. So warm soups, or even if you have food, warm it up before you eat it, and favor mainly the sweet, sour, and salty taste. Better for Vata not to eat alone, to be in company. Vata likes also, Vata likes to be included, to be with, to not feel this coldness of being alone. And it's very good for Vata to have a regular eating habits. So to eat at the right time, and sweet fruits like avocados, bananas also are good. Brown rice or basmati, a lot of food. We will see it later anyway. Basically to oil the body quite often for Vata, sesame oil, and maybe if you like some essential oil, put it there. And is good for Vatas not to wear dark colors, you know, to go and wear more earthy colors, colors that are more grounding, you know, like beige or dark green, or, you know, things that are close to nature and warming. Um, eh, Also, if they wear red, they can get hyperactive again. So, you know, better to wear pastel colors and earth colors and sort of more calming colors, not, you know, electric blue, you know, like, although they like it because it's their nature to be you know, full of enthusiasm, but little bit of tempering of the colors. um the crystals that we use that are good for a Vata is rose quartz, because Vatas are very emotional, even though they don't show it. They the rose quartz helps them to remedy emotional issues. So it's a very good crystal to have. Okay. And it takes away a lot of the nervousness. It takes away a lot of the pain, or, you know, any emotional stuff that they may be carrying. It's also very good for dry skin, rose quartz, and constipation. Yeah. So, and pain. So rose quartz has a multitude of benefits for Vata, and I'm not a Vata, but I really like rose quartz. And if you do meditation and you hold it in your hand, you feel very nice. And um, I urge you to try it out and see if you're not Vata predominant. Even if you're not Vata predominant, rose quartz is a beautiful thing to have even in your home, to calm the energy, to take away the anxiety. You know, it's going to help you. Yeah. The best metal to wear for Vata dosh is gold. Okay. So gold is an important balancing factor. And what to say? If you can wear gold, obviously. If you don't like gold, wear something that has gold in it, or sometimes put some gold in some milk and soak it overnight and drink it the next day, so that you will take these trace elements from the gold. Gold is needed for Vatas because it's a warming metal and a balancing metal for Vata. Okay, very important to avoid cold weather. So to be dressed very well when you're out in the cold, because it aggravates Vata. Okay, to not be in damp climate or too much windy weather. It's not good. Too much computer, television, and stimulation is not good for them. And it's good not to talk too much and to do silence more often for Vatas, because they have very, 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 very overactive brains. So silent retreats or silent meditations, or just taking a few hours of silence once in a while is very, very good. Or a weekend. Huh? So Vatas are good to do grounding exercises. So yoga that is static, not too fast. That means to sit in a yoga posture and just breathe and feel the ground. Walk with the feet on the ground, feel the ground. Huh? Tai Chi is also walking, swimming, but not very some. Okay, they do active sports, but one of their healing is to slow down. If there is any motto for Vata, is slow down Vata. Just remind yourself, if you're a Vata, just tell yourself slow down Vata 2 or 3 times a day. Just remind yourself to slow down. Yeah, because they're always going way faster than is needed. Okay, now the best thing is to not, Vata should not fast as much as the other doshas. They should avoid dry foods, cold foods, and drinks, because that aggravates their Vata, which is already existent. And basically, they shouldn't go for bitter or astringent taste either. Okay, so basically, have good food. Vata needs good food, warm food, pleasing food to make them more balanced. To eat with company, meals, and also to have little meals. They are the dosha that can have many times small meals throughout the day. It's very grounding for them, because they're very, very airy fairy. The food brings them back down to the ground. They are more, they come back to the present. Vatas suffer very often from light sleep. That means they suffer from insomnia. So it's better for them to sleep early if they can, and to take calming teas or turmeric milk if you like it. It's very calming at night and making you feel more relaxed and helping you go to sleep. Vata people are feeling much better when they are in a warm climate, not in a cold climate. All right. And as I have said previously, if they have a daily routine, they should stick to it daily, and it will help them balance also. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell main things that can reduce Vata imbalance. And maybe, I don't know if I can't, but maybe if Vivek can take it further down, he will take it further down. Thank you. So now we see here in the next sheet that to balance Vata, we need to increase the clarity and creativity. As long as you see the person being creative and clear and not confused, it means that they're okay. Let them be a bit crazy and sporty and whatever and enthusiastic. That's okay. We have to also see if they are restless or if they have anxiety. If they are restless, if they are too restless, it means we're getting out of balance. So there is the two boxes on the side. It says when Vata is in balance, vibrant, enthusiastic, and energetic. When he's out, he or she is out of balance, they start to be restless, to have fear, to not be settled, to be anxious. So that's a symptom that Vata is come off balance. We have to do something. Yeah. So basically, if you start to see them to be too sad or to be too emotional, that's also a sign of Vata imbalance. When the sleep is affected, again, this is a type, this is telling you that Vata needs to get balanced, okay? And when they start to tell you that they're very tired, or they're feeling tired all the time, and that it just basically they can't relax and they're just feeling tired, that's also Vata imbalance. And basically constipation, bloatedness, and gas usually is Vata related disorder. And when these people start to worry a lot and lose weight, and they go out and they cannot stand the cold, that's also showing that Vata is out of balance. Okay, so how to balance Vata? Okay, but Vata, we balance it with regular routine, lot of rest. Vatas don't rest enough because they do too much. So, and to try to make yourself take rest if you're a Vata, even if you think, because they have a lot of energy, but even if you think you can finish that thing as well, no, take rest 2 or 3 times a day. Again, like I said, I've said these things before, I'm not going to tell them again. And there are here some essential oils that help to reduce Vata. Okay, so sandalwood, rosemary, myrtle, angelica, orange, chamomile, all these that are written there, ginger, basil, lemon, these are very, very good. If you put a few drops in a carrier oil, never use essential oil on its own. So just a couple of drops in either sesame oil or walnut oil or avocado oil or sweet almond oil. It's very, very good to do this daily massage, or whenever you have the time. It's going to calm the Vata. Yeah. Okay. So basically, that's it with the guidelines for balancing Vata in the physical, mental, emotional body. And we can maybe go a little further down to see the other sheet. Okay, so here we have a diet for reducing Vata imbalance, and it tells you on one side what to favor, which grains, fruits, vegetables are good, and which ones to avoid and reduce. Yeah, so it doesn't mean that if you eat barley it's bad for you, but not to eat so much or to minimize. It also has dairy is very good for Vata. Vata should favor dairy, actually. It's very good for them. And all oils are good for Vata. Okay, so don't be afraid to use oil in your food, sesame oil or ghee. And there is an assortment of spices that are very, very, very good, and they are enumerated there. The ones, though, that need to be reduced are the chilies, too much chili and juniper and all this stuff that, the cayenne and nutmeg, and just reduce it. It's not so good for Vata. It's not so good for Vata. All the nuts are good. So Isabel, when you come back to Cyprus, if people want nuts, we're going to contact you for almonds. And all the rest of the great things that you make. Yeah, so basically we can leave it there, Vivek, so maybe people want to take things down. If people want us to send it to them, I will gladly send it to them. And if you want, you can ask or discuss, or anything you need that has not been clear, we can go through it. And I did say that I would talk about Rudraksha. So I will tell you one thing that is very important, not only for Vadas, but very important for Vadas. If you have Rudraksha beads, which are different types, okay, there's like this big one here, and I'm wearing a small one. I wore it so that I could show you. Rudraksha beads are thermogenic, okay? So they generate heat, and they're very good for, hello, Peter, it's okay. Thank you for coming. So Rudraksha beads are very, very important for cleaning our aura in general, the space around the body. But for Vata, because they are thermogenic, they keep the body, it keeps the body warm. So if you have sleeping disorder also, it can help you. But with Rudraksha, it depends on the size, the millimeter of the bead. So there are different sizes of beads that are good. And if you can give also your birth date, they give you the right one for you in India. And also Rudraksha is very calming. So Vatas have a tendency to be quite anxious. So when they wear Rudrakshas, it helps them not only in their spiritual life, okay, but in general to be calmer. And doctors in India are prescribing Rudraksha, and people are going off the anxiety pills as well. So I would recommend that if you want to buy Rudraksha from Nepal or Indonesia or India, but buy it from a dealer. There's a lot of false plastic stuff. Yeah. So what is a Rudraksha? Rudraksha means the tears, or from Shiva. They say that Shiva was sitting and meditating, and at some point the tears rolled down his face and they touched the earth, and trees came up. The tree is called Eleocarpus gravitas or garitas, something like this, and it looks like an olive actually. And once the fruit drops, this is inside the fruit. So this thing, I don't know if you can see it. It's like the seed from. I don't know, Peter. Do you know more about Rudrakshas? Maybe you do. You can. No. Okay. So Vivek, maybe.
So I know that there are different types of Rudraksh. There are different like partitions that they have in Rudraksh.
So they have this muk something.
Yeah. So faces basically.
If you cut the Rudraksha in half, some of them have 3, some of them 5 partitions, some of them 6 or whatever. So they say that inside these partitions there are trace minerals from various things that are very needed. So inside the Rudraksha it's alive. It's still active, even if it's come off the tree. And this is generating the heat, and it's actually cleaning out stuff, protecting you. People use it for protection, for many things. But for Vata dosh, because it's so fragile and prone to cold, to anxiety. And I recommend that if you have like gone through depression in your life or anxiety or nervousness, everybody should wear now Rudraksha with this corona. But try it, okay? I have a girl who does malas here in Cyprus, but you can also try to find Rudraksha and get it mailed over to you, and if and wear it and really see the difference. There is a very big difference if obviously you get a real, not the fake ones that you get in the markets, you know, when because there's a lot of fake Rudraksha, but if you buy it from a dealer, a proper dealer, you can get a really nice set. So that concludes what I had to say today, and you can ask questions, or we can chat if you like for a bit, and I will try to get some more information for you on Rudrakshas, or maybe just post a video about them. But I'm talking from experience that, and also it's very important that you wear it to feel. You must have it close to the skin. And then again, Rudraksh, you don't eat meat, you don't eat eggs, you don't drink alcohol, okay? Oui, Isabelle, tu peux. Oui, you can find them in Paris, you can find them everywhere. But try to go, don't go for the cheap, you know, like the imitation. Yeah, so try to source them from a good source. I will maybe put something on the on the Facebook page, or send you individually if you like. My best bet is to buy from India, from a store that is, you know, specialized in Rudraksha. I think there are quite a few. Don't buy from a market or from an Indian shop that sells them for €2 or something. You understand? Try to get a good one. Try to get, you know, because it's for your healing. But there are a lot of fake ones out there. So what I want to say is that Rudraksha will work for you if you work for uh, for with it. So you must not uh, go anywhere where they're killing animals or doing something um, uh, uh, something with harming, you know. So it's a, yeah, Peter says that he's very lucky to have been given some by an Indian yogi with Swami and blessed. How mine are also blessed from when I took Diksha. So these are very, you know, I don't think I could even buy them. I was given them, and nobody should touch your mala, your rudraksha. So but you can start to just buy a rudraksha mala and experiment with it and see how you feel. I would never talk about something that I haven't experienced myself. For many years, I was not wearing them, and I went through this deep depressive time in my life. And I opened the drawer and I found the mala, and I wore it, and instantly, in a few hours, my whole system changed. Okay, so they are like blessings, you know. But and you don't have to be a yogi to wear them. You can wear them just for protection, just for balance, uh, and they really work. So for vatas, I recommend them, and especially for people who are going through anxiety or sleeping issues, they are very, very, very beneficial. But you should go for the slightly bigger. Yeah, the small ones are good, but try to go, if you have a, try to find a good millimeter for you. And usually when you give your birth date, they recommend what's best for you astrologically as well, so you can get the best of both worlds. After this is what I had for today. And let me hear anything that you would like to ask or add or suggest. Total total silence.
I can help if you need some help to reduce the silence, but I'm not sure because I missed the first 5 minutes. I'm not sure if you mentioned it then.
It's okay. Yeah. You
Uh,
can ask whatever you need to ask. It's okay. Peter came a little late. He can hear it now.
yeah. I have two questions for Vada. The first one is, if I understood well, in the beginning you mentioned something like we all have some Vata.
We all have all the 5 elements in our body. That means we all have air, space, fire, water, earth. Yes.
Yes.
Now, when we are determining our prakriti, that means our constitution, our body type or makeup of the mental, emotional, physical body, we come up sometimes with 1 or 2 predominant doshas, yeah, like mainly pitta with kapha or mainly vata with pitta, yeah.
Yeah.
And we think that we don't have vata, but we all have vata in our body. It's just not dominant, huh?
It's not dominant if we have been assessed as something else, you mean?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it ceases to exist, that you still have air and space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have them in the vayus. We have them in the 5 subtypes of vata that I mentioned in the beginning. Yeah, so basically, vata exists whether you have a vata predominance or a vata combination type. Vata exists in your in the 5 subtypes. Okay, so we must make sure that our breathing is good, our blood circulation is good, our digestion is good, and our excretion and urinary functions are balanced, because all this is vata. Yeah, whether we're pitta or kapha. And they say in one shloka that vata is the strongest, because without the existence of vata, there can be no movement in pitta. That means the air and the fire cannot move to connect. And the same thing, there can be no movements in kapha. So can you imagine a kapha who is earth and water, who has no vayus moving? He's dead. He doesn't even have prana.
Yeah.
So vata is important in everyone. And when we have anxiety, when we have sleep disorders, when we have digestive issues, this is all vata imbalance. Okay.
Yeah.
I am pitta kapha, but when I went through my depression, it was a vata imbalance. All right.
Yeah.
You
My
get
second,
the
I get the idea. I think you answered my second question. If we can switch, if we can switch between types during our life, depending
yes.
on our
This is
social
a very
environment.
important question.
Yeah.
We are never the same. So you can do a quiz, or but actually what happens is you have a prakriti. Okay, when you are born, you have a prakriti. Your constitution is like, let's say, 2 pitta, 1 vata, and 2 kapha. They take your pulse diagnosis and they write down how you were when you were born. This the doctor will give you. And then you have a vikruti, which is the imbalance. And then he checks you now, and he sees that you went from pitta 2 to pitta 4, and your vata from 1, it went to 2, huh? And your kapha from 2 just remained the same. So this is what they do. They check your pulse. They find what you were originally when you were born, because they can read that. Okay. They are so skilled. And they also check you now, and they read. And so they try. How they balance you? They balance you by trying to bring you closer to your prakriti, to your original count when you were born. Okay.
Yes.
So if your vata's gone to the sky, like mine had gone, and I went and did panchakarma, and I became well again. Um, the doctor could see that, you know, I never had. So they are able to give you the remedies, the herbs, and the routines, so that you can actually go closer to your original constitution. If you were a pitta, you are never going, if you are pitta kapha, you're never going to be a vata predominant, you know, but there will be vata in you, there will be pitta in you. But the thing is to try to stay as close to our original makeup as possible. But because we go through different circumstances in our lives that shake us up, you know, the doshas also move, the elements also move. So you can do a quiz 6 months down the line and see that your vata has showed up or gone down. It depends also on the circumstances of your life. And now with corona, people are going through a lot of issues, and there is imbalance, there is anxiety, you know. So yeah, it's nice to see, you know, like if you start to study Ayurveda now, um, do the quiz now, and then do it after doing dinacharya or daily practice and taking all the guidelines, and see where you will be in 6 months or 3 months even. Yeah, try to do it from solstice to solstice. Like today we have spring solstice. Try to do dinacharya and some work from this solstice to June 21st. It's very nice to work with the sun energy, and it's very nice to work with the seasons. So make the most of this shifting. So if you are out of balance, you can maybe balance it somewhere towards, you know, May or June, and
Right.
feel better.
I might because I've done the test last year for sure.
Don't say you might, say I am, you know, I'm on the way, you know. So
I'm actually halfway there because I think
bravo.
I unconsciously started doing some prana exercises,
Good.
and I actually, you know, decided. I'm gonna say the story. I was going for walking, and then I saw many people running, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I not running? Why can I not run? And then
Okay.
I tried to run, and then realized that I was not breathing properly. So I'm like, okay, don't have so many ambitions to run, but try to walk consciously. So I was taking those deep breaths while I was walking, and then within one, like, actually I saw the difference immediately, but let's say after 2 or 3 days I started actually witnessing the prana flowing through my body. I didn't know it at the time, but I assumed it has to have something with it. And I was also, you know, staying with my family, so the food I was eating was much better quality, more fruits, more vegetables, more organic stuff, and I saw the difference. So it's possible to continue this
Yeah.
journey.
No, it's a conscious choice, you know, you decide and you do. So
Yeah, and
there is
also
no there.
consciously deciding. Yeah,
It's
also sorry.
no. I say the thing is, it's your two hands that will do it. Nobody will do it for you. So
Sure.
if you take a conscious choice that I want to improve the state of my mind, my health, or whatever, you will do without pressure. You will go get there, you know. Just don't, but make it part of your priority, and work towards that. And I'm just as I'm saying, the seasons are shifting, so your elements will shift as well. Okay, if you're, you know, you're going with nature, so nature will help you. Hmm?
Yeah, yeah.
And this is the time when we do like detoxification and releasing, and, you know, and moving forward to a new phase. So make the most of it. Anybody else? Would you like to put your well, if you want, it doesn't matter. I don't have to see, I don't have to push people to show their face, but I hope it's been enlightening for you. and it was, at least you learned something from Yashubre, Dora. And if there is anything else, I'm gonna take a little bit of a time off. I think there is an Art of Living workshop on the next weekend. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will not be doing any talks next week, but I urge you, if you want to take the Kriya, please do. And I will give an introductory talk on the 5 elements. It's a course that I will do. It will be for 1 year with 5 weekends where people can get together and work on the 5 elements. So on the 4th of April, I will give an intro on this course, and it will be free, of course. And then people who want to register for it, they can. And they can work along a whole year and do bravo Vivek. And they can do over a whole year this self-study and learn all about the 5 elements, which will help them in their Ayurvedic healing. I do recommend the Sudarshan Kriya, which will happen next weekend. It's helped me a lot in my life. It's brought a lot of calmness and routine. I learned Sudarshan Kriya last year in April, if I'm not mistaken, in the middle of coronavirus, where I had nothing, we were completely locked in. I really liked it. It helped me. It changed a lot about my emotions. It helped me a lot. And it gave me something like a dinacharya. I did it for 40 days and then I continued it. So I recommend it. Doesn't mean because I recommend it that you should do it. But if you are seeking for a method that will help your emotional body and your vitality, I would say do it. And it will be, is it with Swami Jataveda or with the Swamiji?
It will be on 26th to 28th of March, and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji will be taking it.
Okay.
The founder of Art of Living will be there, along
Yeah.
with other teachers contributing.
And also, I would like to thank again Art of Living for providing the platform for me to do these talks. And I will probably continue to do a few free ones from time to time, but I will possibly take, an offline group for the people who live in Cyprus and an online for those who want to study, like, in other countries. So thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Peter, for coming. You must unmute yourself. Yes.
I made it.
Yes. You made it. Great. It's great to see you online. And thank you, Elena and Isabelle. J'espère à bientôt.
I hope so.
Yes. And so just to know, Isabelle has like a farm, I would say, or yeah, she has a farm. Peter has tried the almonds, so has Vivek, and they make the most amazing almonds in silico and raisins and lots of other things. So yeah, they're very wow. They're organic. They pick them with her husband the old way, and so they're really, I really totally love them. And I love Isabel and her husband as well, because they used to be my landlords. But I really love their almonds. And so if you're looking for almonds, she's got the almonds are there. So if you
Don't show this awful bag. I'm sorry for the bag.
But if you want really good almonds, I recommend Isabel's almonds. And you do other things as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So anyway, it was nice to have you all. Elena, thank you for coming. I think it's your 3rd time in a row. Wow. So I will keep in touch with everyone, okay? And check out your Vata, and if you have Vata, slow it down, because it's very important to be creative and enthusiastic, but it's very important to guard a little bit of prana, you know. Vata should look at kaphas that are slow, you know, and kaphas should look at vatas that are fast. Yeah. So
like I saw myself in the mirror. It's awful.
well, yeah, Isabel, I know you're a Vata. You're a very good example of Vata. You know, Isabel, she teaches in Paris, and when she comes to Cyprus, it's supposed to be like a resting time. And she wakes up what time? 5 o'clock in the morning, and she goes to the fields, and they, you know, they look after the fields. Then she does like 100 million things in one day, and you think like, does she never get tired? You know.
Of course, I am now.
Isabel, take me with you in Paris.
Yeah, and yes, you will meet Dora, Isabel, and if she needs a place in Paris, we will rent her a flat. Yeah.
Hurry up, because I want to quit. I can't anymore.
I'm so looking forward to it. It's just the skies need to open first, and then I'll be there in a second.
Yeah.
Good. So thank you all. About the Rudrakshas, please do your little research. I speak from my heart. I'm not gonna make money from it. I'm not gonna sell you the, but really try it and let me know. Okay, I will put a recommendation. Okay, of somewhere that you could possibly check. And if any of you have something that you would like to recommend, also let me know. Let's talk about it in April.
Thank you.
If is it possible that mentally you're Vata and physically you're Kapha?
Yes. The mental body is governed a lot by Vata. That's why we have anxiety issues. That's why we have, that's why the digestion is Vata. But there is also Pitta in the digestion. Yeah. So it's very complex. But basically, a Vata person that I described, if you see yourself in most of the things that I described, it means that you're predominantly Vata, but definitely we change. Yeah. But you know, when I started to study Ayurveda, I used to think that I am Pitta and I'm angry and I am nervous and I'm impatient. But I never believed that there was Vata in me. You know, I left the Vata completely outside. So
of course you have Vata.
It's very important that you see all the aspects of you, all your doshas. Go and look at your fire. Go and look at your kapha. There is also kapha in all of us, you know, and try to awaken all of them, you know, not to be too much Vata and so when you're over Vata, go to your kapha side. Good. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, and see you probably in April for another talk. Yeah. Okay. And thank you, Vivek, again for posting the helping me with the everything. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Γεια σας.
Γεια
Au revoir, Isabel.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Να είσαι καλά, να είσαι καλά.
Γεια.
Carry on.
Hariom, hariom.